I was driving through the middle of nowhere in late October. It was around 1 a.m., and the only company I had was the sound of my tires on the empty highway. I'd been on the road for hours, headed back home after a week-long business trip. My GPS had already taken me off the main highway and onto a smaller, darker road that seemed to stretch on forever. It was pitch black, with no lights in sight, just endless fields and trees on either side. I could feel my eyes growing heavy from fatigue. I hadn't planned on stopping, but I was running low on gas, and the next station wasn't for another 40 miles. Then I saw it. A small, dimly lit gas station on the side of the road. It looked like it hadn't been touched in years, with a flickering neon light above the pump. I pulled in, hoping to quickly fill up and get back on the road. As I stepped out of the car, I noticed something strange. There was a man standing by the door of the small convenience store, staring at me. He was tall, dressed in tattered clothes, and his face was hidden in the shadows. He didn't move or speak. He just stood there, watching. I tried to shake it off, thinking maybe he was just a loner, but there was something unsettling about his stillness. I walked quickly to the pump, trying to ignore the man, but when I turned back to my car, he was suddenly closer, standing just a few feet away. I jumped back in surprise. "Can I help you?" I called out, my voice wavering. He didn't answer, just continued staring at me with an intense, unblinking gaze. I hurried to finish fueling, trying to keep my cool. But when I looked over my shoulder again, he was gone. Just vanished. I breathed a sigh of relief and got back in the car, locking the doors. As I pulled out of the gas station, I glanced in the rearview mirror, expecting to see the station fading behind me. Instead, I saw the man standing at the edge of the lot, watching me drive away. A chill ran down my spine, but I forced myself to focus on the road ahead. I drove for a few more miles, the dark woods creeping in on both sides. My eyes felt heavy again, but I kept my foot on the pedal. Suddenly, my headlights caught something in the distance. A figure standing by the side of the road. At first, I thought it was just a trick of the light, but as I got closer, I realized it was the man. He was standing there in the middle of nowhere, right on the shoulder, staring straight at me. I swerved to avoid hitting him, my heart pounding in my chest. But when I looked back, he was gone, as if he had never been there. I shook my head, trying to clear the unsettling thoughts, and pushed the accelerator, hoping to just get home. But then, the weirdest thing happened. My headlights flickered, and the radio cut out. The only thing I could hear was the hum of the engine and the sound of my own breathing. My stomach dropped. That's when I saw him again. This time, he was standing in the middle of the road, not even looking at me. His back was turned and he was motionless, like a mannequin. I slammed the brakes, my tires screeching against the asphalt. But as I came to a stop, I realized something horrifying. He wasn't in the road anymore. I hadn't passed him. He was in my back seat right behind me. I didn't even dare to look. I floored it, throwing the car into drive and speeding down the highway. I could hear the sound of breathing behind me. Slow, deliberate breaths, almost like someone was mocking me. I drove straight through the night, not daring to stop until I reached a town with lights and people. As I parked my car at a crowded diner, I looked in the rearview mirror once more. The back seat was empty, but in the reflection, I swear I saw something move. Just the faintest outline of a figure standing outside my window. I didn't stick around to find out. I grabbed my things, locked the car, and ran inside, heart racing. To this day, I still don't know who that man was, or if he was even real. But I'll never forget that cold feeling, knowing that someone or something was with me in the dark, watching me, waiting for me to look back.